sorry, give me a second. They advocated for y'all to be able to have a conversation about what it is that you wanted to vote, and y'all voted based off of identity politics. And more importantly, y'all had a less than an 8% voter turnout rate over in Houston. Ditto for Chicago, because it was even worse. And what I also see happening is people running in the victim Olympics that have all the opportunity in the world, yet immigrants come over here, black immigrants come over here in this country, and they mop the floor with y'all. Because y'all sit here and complain and run in the victim Olympics instead of taking advantage of the opportunities, which most of y'all don't even deserve. Some of y'all got into these positions based off of diversity, equity, and inclusion, in which you wasn't even qualified to get into it in the first place. Similar to the black woman that just got arrested from Facebook for stealing $4 million, right? And she put her friends and her families on that wasn't even qualified to do the position. Similar to all of these women and these people that continue to leverage and use the system in order to get qualified positions that they were not qualified to be a part of, getting qualified to get into universities that you couldn't compete in. And then you complained when you got inclusion that you should have never been included and you would have been better off as a result of it. And you tried to hold Martin Luther King accountable by saying that, well, he did say he was leading us into a burning building. It's no way to satisfy y'all. You're going to complain if you have, you're going to complain if you don't. The reality is this: you lost, just like every other conquered people. And the unfortunate part is the people that beat you allow for you to continue to have a voice in the space that they beat you in. You lost. The same way that the Native Americans lost when white people came or Europeans came over here and they conquered America. The same way that Africans lost. The same way that people over in Asia lost at different times of society. And the loser don't get to complain about and then have a conversation about how the winner should let them continue to compete with them. The reality is that life is a competition. And the minute that we start letting women have voices in what should happen in America is when America started having a downfall. You can't complain either way. The reality is that women are always going to complain no matter what.
And he has a platform.
That's corny.
You're corny.
What are you talking about? And we trying to call us corny, bro. That's so lame. That's
what I was saying. Give me a second.
That's scary business.
Very lame.
Give me a second.
Horrible.
And the poorest people are usually what happens is this. This is my final point. The poorest people are usually the ones that's always complaining about what somebody else ain't doing for them. They never actually went through anything. They're not honoring their ancestors by doing the things that's best for them. They usually are the worst people for their communities. And the biggest way for you to come up on the black community is to race hustle. So when you then go in and say, well, white people is against us, they're not actually helping you. They're enabling you to continue to be a piece of shit, to be at the bottom of the barrel, not to actually help and be productive members of society. And then they take y'all money and they say that they're building a school for the next 15 years that they're not actually building. And so it's unfortunate that y'all continue to fall for this trap. You literally in 2024 and you still talking about race relations and bullshit like that, when everything that you've ever had has enabled you to be the worst version of yourself. And the minute that you take ownership and responsibility of that, you ruined your homes, you let white women come in, and the only way that y'all got finesse from a race perspective is they leveraged y'all for feminism when that wasn't even black women fighting in the first place. And then y'all wanted to complain about what it is that you don't have when you have every single opportunity against you. And the only people that's racist is you against your own people, more importantly against the men that you open up your legs to and have children with, and then complain about whether or not they're supposed to take care of y'all afterwards. Y'all are the worst people for the community. Everything that you stand for, what your lives represent, and you are actually a disgrace to the people that actually came before you that advocated for you to be free in the first place. If you want to honor your
ancestors, sound like a white supremacist.
You want to honor your ancestors, please.
Flat out.
Stop running in the victim Olympics.
That's what you sound like, sir.
Together. Stop having student loan debt so that you then be indebted and asking Biden for forgiveness and voting a certain type of way based off of what's promised to you instead of doing the thing that's in the best interest of your families. When y'all learn to be quiet and then operate based off of what it is that you're supposed to do instead of operating based off of how you feel, you'll start to have better results. In the meantime, what I know y'all gonna do is y'all gonna let this go in one ear and out the other. You're gonna be disrespectful. You're gonna go out there and you're gonna call a black man a nigga, and then you're gonna sit here and complain about what white people ain't giving you, and you're gonna continue to be a nuisance to your race. Y'all are actually the worst thing for black community. Instead of holding each other accountable, you're not doing the thing that's in your own best interest. That's the reality.